In this video, we're going to learn how to combine images. You can see I've created a new creature by combining two images and using a few tools to edit the colours and blur it so it looks a little bit more realistic. These images can get very complex and convincing, but we're just going to keep it simple for today. To create this new creature, I needed an image of a T-Rex and an image of a frog. Now you can see there isn't much space around the frog or the T-Rex for us to work with. And in my final image, there's a lot more white space around the image itself. We could create a new canvas and copy and paste everything into that, but it will be easier if we simply click on the frog and resize the canvas here. To do that, in the bottom left hand of your screen, you will see two overlapping squares. This is where you select the foreground and background colour. We need to make sure that both of these are white. Click on them just once and the colour picker will appear. You can move the colour picker around to select new colours. The top left hand corner is white. If you want to match the colour exactly in your image, you can move back onto the image and select different parts of the screen, and the bit that you click on will be the colour you select. If I want the exact same shade of white, I'll click on the background and then click OK. I'll do this for both squares. Once you have both squares set to the colour you need, click Image, Canvas Size. Now change the size to %. And we're going to add 30% to this canvas. So type 30 in the width and 30 in the height. When you've done that, click OK. You can now see the canvas has expanded. The next step is to add a piece of the T-Rex to the frog image. To do this, go to the T-Rex image and you could select the marquee tool to drag a box around the bit that you need. There are other options in the marquee tool, such as elliptical to select circles, but what would be better for this is to use the tool underneath, which is the lasso tool. If you click and hold the lasso tool, you'll see there is a lasso tool, polygonal and magnetic tools. We're just going to stick with the lasso tool. This allows us to select by freehand. This allows me to draw around the parts that I want to cut or copy. Draw a box around the T-Rex head. You can go off the canvas and the cursor will follow your hand movement around the absolute limit of the border of the image. When you've created a box, let go of the mouse button or trackpad and a dotted line will appear. This will be everything that we are copying from this image. Now go to Edit, Copy. Go to the frog image and select Edit, Paste or Command V. Now the T-Rex has pasted into my image, and what I need to do next is remove the white background from the T-Rex layer. You can see in the bottom right hand I have the layers panel here, the background and layer 1. I'm going to rename this to T-Rex. If I click on the eye icon, I can switch that off and make it invisible or visible. Now with the layer visible and the layer selected, I can go to the Magic Wand tool, which is below the lasso tool. Select the Magic Wand tool and just click within the T-Rex mouth and it will select all of the white from that section of the T-Rex layer. Press the delete key and go slightly above the T-Rex nose and select the rest of the white section and press the delete key. When you've done that, you can select the marquee tool, click anywhere on the page to deselect that area. Now the T-Rex head is far too large. What I'm going to do is click Edit, Free Transform, and then I can drag the corners to resize the T-Rex head. I can then move the T-Rex head into place. When you're happy with the position, you can click the check mark to apply. Now obviously, the colours don't look convincing at all, nor does the very sharp straight line where I've just pasted the image over the top of the frog. What we're going to do is use the eraser tool to soften this line. Click the eraser tool, and then at the top you can see there's a large round dot with, on my screen, 99. If you click on the down arrow, we can change the size of the eraser and the hardness. The hardness, if it's set to 100%, means that it's a very strong, clear line. If I set the hardness to less, it will be a very soft, blurred line. So we're going to set the hardness to about 14% here. So 14 or 15%, and a size to something you can work with. So for me, I'll set that to about 30%. And I'm going to just gently erase the section from the T-Rex head. And then I'm going to use the move tool and just move that slightly. There we go. Okay, so that looks a little more convincing now because we've blurred the side of the line. If you want to add further blurring, you can use the blur tool and then just change the size, just like we did with the eraser tool, and you can click to blur the line further. You just draw over it and it gets more and more blurred as you go. If you don't like that, simply edit, undo. Now I'm going to change the colour of the T-Rex. To do this, I need to click Image, Adjustments. There's lots of different options, but the first thing I'm going to do is change the colour of the T-Rex skin. Click Adjustments and Colour Balance, and I can move the sliders to change the colour that we see. Now I need to make this more green, and it's very much trial and error. So I'm going to move from magenta to green and try and match the frog as closely as possible. You can use the shadows and highlights and midtones to change different aspects of the colour, but for now I'm going to stick with midtones. If you want to change these other areas to see how it looks, feel free to experiment. If you don't like it, simply click Cancel and it will revert back to the way it was. Again, that was Image, Adjustments, Colour Balance. Move the sliders to something that you think matches. When you're happy with your changes, all you need to do is click OK to apply them. You can see now I've created a new creature by copying and pasting, blurring lines slightly, and changing colours. You might want to experiment with the other options in adjustments. I also very often use vibrance, which allows me to change the brightness of the image. Again, if it doesn't need it or it doesn't work for you, simply click Cancel and it will revert back to the way it was before you started to change it. I'm happy with the way this looks, so I'm going to finish there. I'd like you to try and create your own animal. You can either create the same one I have, or try to create your own from images you find on Google. You could even add other parts to it, for example a tail or wings or other aspects. Good luck with what you create. I look forward to seeing it.